Sorry, Patronies, but I gotta bring this one outside of the Discord because I'm not feeling it. So today, in the wee hours, Joe basically uploaded an extra clip on Patreon. Extra clip was of Marc and Mel arguing. And I love my brother Marc, and I'm usually on his side, but he was dead ass wrong for how he went about this. He could have went about this in a way more classier way. I blame the corny ass title Potter of the Month for all of this, okay? I really do feel like Marc goes too hard to try to be Potter of the Month. Mind you, it's just a title. It's bragging rights for the most part. Anyways, Joe uploading this video, it's a 10-minute video, on Patreon sparked a big debate in the comments. And it now is Team Marc versus Team Mel, basically. Which, obviously, JBP is a male-dominant fan-based show. So a lot of men are basically just dogpiling on Mel and it's given bullying. But I'm not here about that. I'm just here to give my opinion. And my opinion is this. Mel did not start it. Marc clearly started it. They was having a conversation. The debate was a part of a longer episode. I'm not really sure where they pulled it from. But they cut it out being that it wasn't on topic. That conversation though, the debate starts with Marc basically calling Mel out. He literally pointed her out of everyone else, saying that he took a lot of L's on the podcast with her. He felt like certain discussions he couldn't have on air with her. Obviously, Mel is going to feel a way about that. Anyone would. So Mel then proceeded to ask in the moment, do you have an issue? Is there an issue? Because of also the way he said it. He was like, I took a lot of L's with you. Like, the way he said it was definitely, like, antagonizing. And caused for a reaction. I personally feel like after she asked, did he have an issue? And he answered, she left it alone. That's when Joe and Ice proceeded to be messy and said that Marc shoots extra hard at Mel. And I thought at that time it was going to become a group discussion, basically, where they was going to tell Marc about himself. But instead, they tried to, like, put the battery in Mel back to speak up for herself. And that's where Ice annoyed me at, because he entered the discussion on Mel's side, but then quickly ran away as soon as Marc started talking. And it's like, well, Ice, you basically started this. And then in the next episode, he wanted to make it seem as though Mel started it. No, it was you and Joe. It's weird to me because it's like nobody could shoot at Ice. To be honest, Ice is the most sensitive. So how y'all always coming at Mel when there are men on the show more sensitive than her? Mel takes more heat than Ice and parts. And Mel don't even be shooting at Marc. And I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm happy that she even defended herself in that moment, because what do you mean you be taking L's on air with me? Like, sometimes Marc think he could say stuff and not be questioned on it. That's weird. I also got annoyed with Joe because I felt like he was using Mel as like a shield, because I really feel like this is how Joe actually feels. Getting mad at Mel like, oh, I'm defending you when I back you. You have to back yourself and all these things, but then you go on the next part to say she started it. How? She asked a direct question in a conversation they were having. You brought up the entirely new conversation of how Marc be going in on Mel. So technically, in my opinion, Joe and Ice started the conversation. Then left Mel out there to defend for herself. Now, Marc is completely wrong because he shot at Mel, and when she asked did he have a problem with her because that was a spicy take, taking L's, okay. He then proceeded to treat it like it was a CNN interview. Oh, evidence and receipts and this is the reason, that's the reason, that's the reason. I treat everybody like this. You're not special. There's no special privileges. It was just a position that you wouldn't really think a friend would take. I felt like he was extra defensive for no reason. If he didn't feel like he was doing anything wrong, I felt he should have took a different approach. Acknowledged her feelings, especially because multiple people in the room felt the same way. Then go on to say that he did not mean to make her feel that way, or that he was not intending to do any of that. Instead, he treated it as if it was a debate and like a targeting shooting practice. And he was just going extra hard, in my opinion, for no reason at all. It wasn't giving emotional intelligence. It was just giving, I want to be right. And it left Mel confused. And instead of her being combative back with him, she just kind of let him have it because it was clearly getting more personal than it needed to be. It was also given this thing that men do where they don't want to be the bad guy. And it's not always about being the bad guy. It's just sometimes about acknowledging you hurt someone's feelings. Simple as that. None of it was necessary, given the context of the entire situation. It just shows a lot of this was brewing, behind the scenes. And that's why I feel like Joe kind of sucks as a host, of his pod because he instigates the tensions that he knows his co-host has. Then is confused when they no longer want to participate on the show, Joe. I don't get that at all. Because Mel did say that her and Mark both left feeling uneasy. And Mark was not on the newest episode. I do think Mark will be back, but I don't think he will be there for long. I also don't think that Mel should stay there for long either. I feel like a big reason of why Mel stayed for so long was just to prove that she is worth being there. And I feel like we are beyond that now. We all know that she is clearly worth being there, but she also deserves to be in better spaces. She don't need to be with this group of immature middle-aged men. Don't get me wrong, I got a subscription. They're funny sometimes, and I like the topics, the current event topics that they talk about. Overall, her intellect is just too beyond theirs, and so is Mark. So I was really surprised that he even stooped to their level because of the childish instigating that was going on around them. I really do think he's gonna look back and end up apologizing to Mel because he came in too hot for no reason at all. When she wasn't even combative, she was genuinely concerned. I also don't think that Joe should have aired the conversation because he literally asked Mel how did she feel about it, and she told him that she basically didn't want it to be aired. She felt uncomfortable. On top of that, he also made it seem as though it wasn't gonna come out in the next episode, but he still put it out. It's gaslighting 101, and it's annoying. Joe even argued with her on that episode saying that it was never out, but it is out. So, like, honestly, what was the point of that? Definitely not a courtesy, Joe. All in all, Melissa has her own podcast, Hot and Bothered, which I am also a supporter of, and I think she'll be great with or without the JBP on her resume. And I think any girl coming in to fill her shoes or even just to be a part of it along with her will also feel the same hurt and pain and most likely receive the same treatment. Also, it's not only women who feel away on the pod, okay? We all know Imani be feeling away with Joe. Queens Flip argue with Joe every other month, and Ish is every other week. So I hate when they make it seem like, oh, it's just Mel. And to all you weirdos in the Patreon comments who just hate on Mel, go and get a life. And Mel is not wrong, Ice wasn't wrong, and Joe wasn't wrong. Mark be doing too much, and not just with Mel. He even admitted that he don't do it as much to Ice. Why? Because Ice is a sensitive little... So how can they really even speak on Mel?